I just got the 2 best Superman sets ever produced, and these are ones that no collector is going to want to miss. Hey y'all, and welcome back to Carbon Scoring, the best place for comics, history, and action figures. Mezco recently released 2 very different but equally spectacular Superman action figure sets. A Golden Age one based on the 1940s Max Fleischer cartoons, and a Silver Age figure in their ongoing 112 line of cloth costumed figures. Each figure represents a unique period for the Man of Steel. Let's start by looking at the 1940s Superman. Mezco's 5 Points box set comes with 4 unique figures: Clark Kent and Lois Lane in their classic 1940s style, and the mechanical monster robot himself. And of course, Superman, with that distinctive look from his animated adventures chronicled by Max Fleischer's animation studio. The Man of Steel features the red S shield on his chest on a black background with a yellow outline. Between 1941 and 43, Fleischer Studios produced 17 animated Superman shorts, considered some of the finest quality cartoons of the golden age of animation. But the Fleischer brothers initially had no interest in making them. Paramount Pictures paid them $50,000 per episode. That's close to $1 million today, and over double their typical budget. The results were breathtaking. Here's a fun fact. At the time in the comics, Superman was only able to leap, but when animated it looked so silly that the Fleischers asked DC to have him fly instead. The publisher agreed, and Superman was formally given the power of flight. They also originated this famous phrase:
faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
The cartoon would prove to be a huge influence on everything from Batman the Animated Series to Alex Ross's vision of the Man of Steel. The Mechanical Monsters was the second episode produced, and the opening scene shows the robot robbing a bank with a shadow cast by its winged arms and propeller neck. Features which are faithfully reproduced on Mezco's action figure version, accomplished by a second set of arms and attachable propeller. Next, we get to see the robot use his hidden rear trap door to store the stolen loot. Yet another feature that Mezco made the effort to replicate perfectly. The scene then shifts to the opening of a jewelry exhibit in Metropolis, featuring a tempting array of precious pieces ripe for the taking. Again, Mezco captures the action with a cardboard diorama, allowing you to reenact the scene. Our intrepid reporters, Lois Lane and Clark Kent, can smell a story, and they're on the scene when the robot arrives. Lois hustles Clark out as the robot fills his storage compartment with the purloined pearls. Clark heads to a phone booth to call in the robbery. But Lois is gonna Lois, and she sneaks off and ends up captured by the mechanical monster. This leads to another piece of Superman history. This is the very first time he changes into costume in a phone booth, something that would become synonymous with his legend. And this is probably the highlight of the set for me. Mezco gives us a fully formed replica 1940s phone booth. But that's not all. Open the door and place the Clark Kent figure inside. Then, through the power of imagination, Superman appears. This is so classic and pretty much worth the price of admission alone. Lois is taken back to the villain's lair, an underground labyrinth of caves, and in classic 1940s damsel in distress fashion, placed in an elaborate yet slow-moving trap as she is lowered into a vat of lava. Superman goes on to defeat not only the numerous mechanical monsters thrown at him, but also the evil mastermind behind the entire scenario, in order to save Lois. And it's all done in the succulent Fleischer animated style, with that classic Superman theme playing triumphantly in the background. As a child of the 80s, I do enjoy a good 5 POA figure, and I must say, these are excellent ones. Clark has got his hat just a little bit askew, just like what you would see. He has his suit, and he even comes with a notepad accessory so that he can take his reporter's notes. Lois is even nicer. She is a really nice petite figure with a lot of detail, including her cap and bow. She comes with a little gold clasp as well. Just a really well done look of that 40s Lois. Now, maybe the highlight of the set is the mechanical monster himself. He has the number 5, which was the one that we first saw when the cartoon opened, but they really did all the detail work, particularly this opening hatch back here, which I use to store his fire blasts that attach very easily to the front of the figure and mimic the final battle scene with Superman when he comes to take on all of the different mechanical monsters. But of course, the true highlight is Superman himself. He has that great golden age look. You know, the chest symbol was different, and it really was this cartoon that led Alex Ross to draw Superman the way that he did with the black shield. So it kind of really something that has influenced generations of characters. Now, he's great like this. He's a great, muscular, strongman looking Superman. But the cool thing is you can very easily take off his arms and replace them with the second set that this came with so that you can get him into more flying poses. So Supes actually came with a second set of arms that work just as well as the original. So just a really nice touch for this Mezco 5 points of articulation Superman set. The golden age of comics is easily defined, beginning in 1938 with the publication of Action Comics #1, featuring the first appearance of Superman. Next came the Silver Age, starting in 1956 with Showcase #4 and the premiere of The Flash, heralding a new wave of superheroes. Most feel the Silver Age ended the night Gwen Stacy died in Amazing Spider-Man 122, ushering in the grittier Bronze Age. Mezco's 112 Superman figure seems to straddle his Silver and Bronze Age incarnations. The figure itself is one of the finer entries in the line. The brightly colored costume really pops off the cloth and nicely hides Mezco's hyper-articulated body underneath. The cape falls at a good length, just below the knees, and has an underwire for dynamic posing. The classic square-jawed profile borrows from Kurt Swan, Neil Adams, and John Byrne, with a healthy dose of Christopher Reeve thrown in for good measure. But it's the numerous accessories this figure comes with that helps us place it squarely at the junction of the Silver and Bronze Age. Let's start with the Starospore. This demonic-looking little starfish is a mind-controlling segment of the giant alien entity that debuted in the Brave and the Bold 28, the very first appearance of the Justice League of America. The pliable appendage easily affixes to Superman's face, creating the most dangerous zombie in this or any other galaxy. Our next piece is equally horrific, the Black Mercy, an alien plant that when attached to its victim traps them in a dream world where they are given all of their heart's desires, but one from which they can never escape. The Black Mercy first appeared in 1985's Superman Annual 11, written by Alan Moore and drawn by Dave Gibbons. The next year, those two creators would go on to produce a book you may have heard of. In that story, the villain Mongol traps Superman with the Black Mercy, and it requires the combined might and ingenuity of Batman and Wonder Woman to save the Man of Steel. This accessory is slavishly accurate to its 1985 appearance, the flexible tendrils easily and securely attaching to Superman's chest. This piece is so well designed, you can see the indention of where Superman's pecs and abdominal muscles are supposed to fit. We are also treated to this terrific Phantom Zone projector. The projector has taken on many forms across numerous media, but I really love the swingin' 60s Silver Age vibe of this one. And no Superman set would be complete without a kryptonite display. This one containing 5 different versions of the mineral from Kal-El's home planet. This seems like a great time to review the insane impacts different versions of kryptonite have on the Man of Steel. Green kryptonite is the traditional version that we all think of. Initial exposure causes weakness and severe pain, and prolonged exposure is fatal to all Kryptonians. Fun fact, kryptonite first appeared in the 1943 Adventures of Superman radio program, not in the comics. Red kryptonite can be fairly unpredictable. Sure, it causes weakness just like the green version, but it often produces extreme mood swings and occasional mutations. Now, blue kryptonite is basically the opposite of red kryptonite. It reverses the nasty effects of red on Kryptonians. Unfortunately, it's not so great for the Bizarro family, where it pretty much works like green kryptonite on regular Kryptonians. Gold kryptonite is a tricky one. It neutralizes a Kryptonian's ability to process the light from a yellow sun, thus negating their superpowers, leaving them essentially human. Then white kryptonite has no effect on either humans or Kryptonians. Sadly, it kills any plant life it comes into contact with, making it the most dangerous form to the planet Earth. And we haven't even touched on black kryptonite, which causes personalities to literally physically split apart, or pink kryptonite, which apparently switches your gender. But that isn't even close to all. This set comes with a veritable Brady Bunch worth of heads. You get Stern, Smirking, Cindy, Eye Blast, Screaming, Heat Vision, Angry, Confident, and Alice. Let's take a closer look at those Eye Blast. You do get one head with red eyes that actually have a light up feature. It is well done and produces a nice, angry red glow. But the head with the opening allows for two more Eye Blast effects. There's one with a focused beam of concentrated heat vision, and another that is wide open full blast for when Soups really has to tear some stuff up. He comes with a couple of punch effects that fit onto the fist to give that great, powerful sonic punch action. And maybe the coolest of all, Superman comes with 3 different bullet ricochet effects, each of which attaches seamlessly to his chest via magnets. A very, very cool look and a nice touch. There have been a lot of Superman figures made over the years, but it is hard to imagine one that brings so many things together as this Mezco 112 Superman. I mean, the costume is absolutely classic. The colors are bright and powerful. The sculpting is absolutely spot on, and Mezco gives you unbelievable articulation with all the joints hidden by this great cloth costume. The cape is right on target and has an underwire so that you can get him into some really, really awesome poses. So for those people who really enjoy articulated comic book art, you can get so much out of this. And then, of course, you have all of the accessories that we've gone through, the 7 different heads, the different silver and bronze age appliances. It's just maybe the greatest Superman set that I've ever seen, and certainly one that I am very proud to have in my collection. What do you guys think? Are these your ideal Superman sets? Let me know in the comments. And as always, for the best in comics history and action figures, subscribe to Carbon Scoring.